Win the war in your head and wealth will follow. Every fortune is won twice, first in the mind, then in the world. And most people never reach the second victory because they surrender the first without a fight. They wake up each morning already defeated by invisible enemies. Doubt disguised as logic, fear disguised as caution, habit disguised as personality. They think the battlefield, the office, the economy, the competition. But the real war is silent. It is fought in the private chamber of thought where no one applauds and no one rescues you. You are not poor because money avoids you. You are poor when your thinking avoids power. Wealth is attracted to minds that can hold it without collapsing. A fortune is not just currency. It is pressure, responsibility, expansion. If your inner world is fragile, your outer world cannot grow strong. Nature refuses to build skyscrapers on cracked foundations. Look at history closely, and you will see a pattern written in bold ink. Edison faced darkness and imagined light so vividly that the world eventually had no choice but to follow his blueprint. Ford stood in a century that laughed at horseless carriages and treated ridicule as confirmation that he was early, not wrong. Carnegie rose from poverty not by wishing for wealth, but by cultivating a mind that refused to remain small. These men were not born into certainty. They manufactured certainty through relentless mental discipline. The warns with awareness. Most thoughts are not chosen. They are inherited. They are echoes of parents, teachers, news, culture, and the accumulated fears of generations. If you do not interrogate these thoughts, they rule you like invisible monarchs. You begin to speak limitations in your own voice. You say, "I'm just realistic." But realism without imagination is a prison with polite furniture. Winning the war in your head means questioning every thought that weakens you. Not angrily, not desperately, but with the calm authority of a commander inspecting his ranks. Ask each thought, do you build or do you erode? If it erodes, it is treason. And treason in the mind is punished by replacement. You do not argue endlessly with doubt. You outnumber it with deliberate belief. Belief is not fantasy. It is disciplined focus. It is the decision to hold a vision steady while the world shakes. Lincoln held a fractured nation together because his inner architecture did not fracture first. He endured ridicule, failure, grief, and still stood anchored to purpose. That is wealth in its purest form. The ability to remain internally rich when circumstances are temporarily bankrupt. Clarity sharpens belief into direction. A scattered mind cannot accumulate fortune because it leaks energy in every direction. Wealth flows toward concentration. When you define what you want with precision, your attention, a magnet. Opportunities that once passed unnoticed now announce themselves. Conversations change. Habits reorganize. Your environment begins to mirror your mental order, but clarity demands discipline as its bodyguard. A vision unprotected by daily action is a dream that slowly starves. The wealthy mind is ritualistic. It respects repetition. It understands that greatness is rarely born in dramatic moments. It is assembled in quiet routines that compound. Every disciplined act is a brick placed in the architecture of identity. Over time, the structure becomes undeniable.